I do not know your God, nor will I let Israel go.
Screen Louder, your update on what was, is, and will be loud. Screen Louder now.
Hey everybody, you're listening to Screen Louder. This is Raz. Today I've got with me Sid.
Yo, what's up?
And Maggie.
Hello.
Today we're going to focus on religious movies, specifically God's Not Dead, and God's Not Dead 2 just came out to kind of push this religious movies view of Screen Louder. Those are just a couple Christian movies, but we've also got some cool perspectives, a lot of different religions, and no religion for the movies that also have religious pushes to them. So, Sid?
All right, well, first, if we're going to talk about Christianity and stuff, you know, the big one for a lot of us here in the state of Texas in the Panhandle, there's two movies I really enjoy. One of them is Red State, and the other one is Dogma. They're both Kevin Smith films. Dogma is more like Mallrats meets you know, any other movie that deals with like the idea of God, and it's a good movie. I highly suggest watching it. But Red State's really great. Red State is a film about a church that's similar to Westboro and how they want to like kidnap people and like destroy people in order to get themselves into heaven, and everyone else is just a dirty sinner. And it's a cool perspective. And Kevin Smith was actually like protested against by Westboro because of this movie, and he was called a gay enabler because of it.
Wow, so a lot of different religious movies have received a lot of different heat. It's one of the big topics right next to politics that we know of that raises a lot of eyebrows and discussion, and so we're gonna cover it hopefully without throwing punches or anything like that. I think we've got a pretty solid panel here. So Maggie, how has religion affected views of movies and the reception, I guess, from an audience?
Really depending on how people see it. And there's different forms of films that take part of religion. For example, me, since I'm a big freak in horror movies, Exorcist movies really take a lot of part in religious films. Whether, for example, The Exorcist of Emily Rose, if you haven't seen the film, where it talks about a priest being accused of a girl's death. Supposedly the girl was possessed, and he tries to prove to the audience that, hey, no, this stuff really happened, and that's why the priest comes in and helps out. So I think in an aspect of stuff like that, religious is seen in a different way rather than just films where it's like taking the positive side of stories. There's more to it than meets the eye kind of thing.
That's true, so. Definitely.
You know, one of my favorite movies from the older times, as I like to tell people who are just younger than me, it's a movie that doesn't deal with Christianity. It's called The Craft, and it's more about witchcraft and everything. But some people have drawn close parallels to how it's similar to some of the ideas of Wicca, and others to just say it's just a movie. But I personally enjoy that movie, and I think that and a handful of other movies that dive into different religions are well worth a watch.
But the way I see it is, most people, when they think of religious movies, they think about and stuff like that. But honestly, it's just what people believe. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I'm gonna list off a few that'll kind of give you a few different perspectives on how many different branches religion can reach out into. Like you said, The Exorcist, that's the negative, things that have happened. There's a lot of controversy with the Catholics specifically within the past with the political side of things and such. But some fun ones that I'll mention real quick, specifically on the Christian side. Evan Almighty.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. That kind of shows a little bit of humor and the idea of human having
God powers.
Yeah. Well, that's the Noah's Ark, and then we got the Bruce Almighty, which is.
Yeah. That one's okay.
Yep. And so then he's got God's powers, and it kind of puts you into perspective. If I was really in this position, like how difficult would this be? Also, I just want to throw this in there because it's somewhat related. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. We know the Holy Grail is the cup that supposedly, that Jesus Christ drank out of during the Last Supper with his disciples. I think that kind of has a religious point side to it, as well as the quest for the Holy Grail. The quotes right there. Also, I think one of our favorites would be The Prince of Egypt. Okay. Animated with that. Some big ones that have come out. I think one that's that a lot of people have seen and really sticks in their minds is The Passion of the Christ.
Yes.
That's
like, even
Mel
like
Gibson's kind of blew away the world with that one. It's like, wow.
And I think it's still big to this day.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And now we're up to the part that Christianity plays in our lives today with God's Not Dead. the idea of taking religion out of school, and it's a story of a boy that fights that, and in order to still attend this class that he's in order to get his degree and his major, and he has to fight that and prove that God's alive. So it's a journey. It's worth watching. Sid, you said you had a few more movies, not on the Christianity side, because we know that religion reaches out to all different sects and groups.
Well, they have all these different movies, like The Golden Child. There was this movie about a Buddhist kid who was really special, and he had like all these special powers and stuff, and he was kidnapped. And that's a great movie. I mean, if we're gonna go like straight up into like just foreign countries, movies like Shaolin Soccer,
Yeah.
where
Yep.
the Shaolin monks play soccer, stuff like that.
Right. And that goes into so many different Jackie Chan movies as well, the religion over there. I don't know if they classify it as a religion, more of a
Belief.
Belief, yeah,
But,
exactly.
I mean,
I don't want to step on anyone's toes or anything.
Well, I see it like that, but here's the thing: like, whenever I'm talking to people about my, religion, I usually use the term "my beliefs"
Okay.
and my, what I believe.
Cool.
And actually, I do that a lot because of the movie Dogma, where it's stated that religion shouldn't be just faith, and it shouldn't just be a belief. It should just be a really cool idea that you enjoy. And after I started thinking about it like that, I was like, yeah, this sounds cool.
And I mean, I guess nowadays we're seeing that more directors are not scared to actually show their religion side of films.
Right.
Especially with the new movie that came out. I think it was called Miracles from Heaven.
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's like a religious
Yes.
type of film. And back then, you wouldn't see film directors or producers or whatever promoting films like that on TV. Because, I mean, I feel like that one was a pretty big promoted film.
Yeah.
And whenever it comes to like movie success in the past, like Christian-esque movies and other religious movies haven't really made a big, statement in the box office. I mean, there's the occasional 2 or 3 every now and then, but it's nowhere near any of these like other huge blockbusters. The only one I can think of that came really close was Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, it was big. There's let's see, Noah came out. That was kind of weird. I saw bits and pieces of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, partially because it was just weird to me. Some people were watching it at the time, and I was in and out of the room, and so I, watched it a little bit and here and there. But it was just like, I'm not gonna, rent this. It was like whatever. But I mean, from a person, I've read that part of the Bible and stuff, and so I read, the original story, I guess, in what we know, in what we can understand today.
Before it became mainstream?
Yeah, pretty much before, yeah. I
And-
didn't read the Hebrew version. I didn't get all the way up to that close, but it was interesting. And then there's the Bible series, the TV series.
VeggieTales.
There's, yeah. Can't go wrong with VeggieTales. Got to teach those morals through vegetables and asparagus and such.
I'm a tomato.
I don't know about you guys, but there's a Disney movie, and I don't remember what's it called, but it's with the Hunchback.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, okay, you know that has like, is it called like that?
It's this guy with the hunchback. He's
like-
from Notre Dame.
and
Notre Dame.
And he talks to like little
I like those
statues
cool.
and stuff.
Yes, the
Okay,
little.
well that one
Oh man.
has type of religion
Yeah, it
aspects
does.
to
Yeah,
it.
the gypsy.
Yeah, and then
belief.
what is it? The Catholic
And the
priest?
Catholic priest,
Yeah.
exactly. Good point.
I like that
Thank you,
Hellfire
Maggie.
song.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I would sing that right now. Oh, and
If
then
you
when
could
he
remember the words.
Oh, I can remember the words. Don't test me.
No,
man.
I'm testing you.
Then when the priest, Judge Frollo, condemns Quasimodo, the hunchback.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, you guys want a piece? Here it goes, all right? You are deformed, and you are ugly, and these are crimes for which the world shows little pity. And then you got this little Quasimodo. He's like, I am deformed, and I am ugly. So I like that movie. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like
favorite
that's
line?
less of an actual song, and you were just trying to you were trying to explain yourself to people.
It's the beginning of the song. And then he
believe it.
goes and he's like, man, I wish I could be down there with everybody else. I'm stuck in this tower ringing bells.
That's so sad.
But my favorite line in that movie, I'm just going to say this because I don't know if Quasimodo's ever going to come back up, is when he gives up, right? He gives
Yeah.
up on getting the girl and everything. And then one of the statues says, he yells at the statues, right? The goblins, what are they? Gargoyles. They're gargoyles. Gargoyles. So he tells them to leave them alone. And they're like, yeah, we'll leave you alone. After all, we're just made of stone. And then the gargoyles end with this line. They say, "We just thought you were made of something stronger." Oh, man. And then he gets
Then the gargoyles shed their skin and they started their own show called The Gargoyles.
No.
Oh, never mind.
That's a different show.
I guess I've been like watching too much Disney. They're all just like coming together into one giant like new movie. You guys should check it out though. If you guys could go to that movie theater inside of my mind, great movies.
Get tickets and stuff.
Yeah. Popcorn's always free.
Another point, Bollywood films. It's a group that puts on films from India, and I think a lot of them, they put in their religion within the films and stuff. So I enjoy the Bollywood films as well. Specifically, one of my favorites is 3 Idiots. It's like 3 hours long, but it's really, really good.
Yeah.
They're going through an engineering school and trying to survive out of all these years. And 2 of them are idiots. One of them's really smart, but acts like an idiot, you know. And,
He wants to have friends.
What was that?
He wants to have friends.
Yeah. Kinda.
He doesn't
He
want
has
to be
friends.
too smart.
He has friends. He basically goes into this place, and everybody assumes he's this person. And I'm not going to spoil it because it's worth watching, and I strongly encourage you to see it because it's hilarious, and it's got like 2 crazy twists that even, you know, someone that's experienced in watching movies would not see coming.
Oh. Okay. I
The
like
calls
those
were coming
movies.
from inside of the house.
It's really good. But then one of the students is always worshiping and always praying and always, you know, looking to belief to save him from tests and quizzes and all these things, and praying so that he can pass and get his degree as
Yeah.
an engineer and stuff. So partial little view into I want to say Hinduism.
You know, whenever it comes to Bollywood movies, I was like, let me give these a try. And I started with all those like super crazy ones where like they do these amazing stunts that are ridiculous. And I didn't stop. I didn't watch anything else other than those. Like I just started watching those. I'm like, this is nice.
Nice. We got any others that come to mind?
I don't know if it's a Bollywood movie, but I watched it on DVD, and it was called The Stoning of Soraya. I don't know if y'all have heard of it. Have y'all heard of it?
No.
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 But I didn't know that Saraga ever got stoned.
Well, it is kind of like a documentary film. It's based on a true story, and it's about this girl who, I don't know exactly where they live. They live in the Middle Eastern, though.
Is she cute though?
My guess is Jerusalem. Are they around where his ministry
Yeah,
was and stuff
yeah.
like that? Okay.
And basically, in the movie, this girl is accused of betraying her husband.
Oh.
Yeah, but she didn't betray her husband. But anyways, I guess the law there is and it has to do something with their religion too.
Very, very harsh, yeah.
Yeah, you get,
Stoned.
yeah, and she got stoned to death for something she didn't do wrong. It was just the husband trying to get rid of her. But see, the husband didn't get penalty for anything.
Right, because
The movie's really good, and I recommend watching it. It makes you want to cry.
Soraya.
The Stoning of Soraya.
Stoning of Soraya.
Where
Yeah.
she
Well-
got stoned to death.
By stones. Thank you, Sid. I will leave that up into interpretation. You watch the movie and you figure out what kind of stone they're talking about.
Yeah.
I want to leave on this note, this movie that's probably forgotten and very, very few people have seen it. It's called The Robe. It was made in 1953. It's the story of the Roman soldier that won Christ's robe after he was crucified. And the story of Christ's robe after he died and was resurrected, and where it went from the Roman soldier's hands and his life, and how Christ's robe affected his life. It's a really good film, even better book. I encourage you to read it if you have Christian views. Even if you don't, it's a really good story. So, yep.
What about the Da Vinci Code? Does that have to do with anything with religion? Like, I've heard of it, and I remember when I was a little kid and that movie came out, my parents would always tell me, no, like, that movie's wrong or whatever. And
I
never
never saw it personally.
Have you seen it?
All I saw was a movie with a guy's face on it. I'm like, this isn't interesting.
It
And
does
didn't
have to
get
do with
involved.
religion, but to explain the movie, it would take too long than we have in this podcast. So I will not.
Will you recommend it, though?
If you don't mind your butt going to sleep from sitting down for too long, because some people don't like that movie because it's too long.
Okay.
Other people, they don't like the movie.
That means research, guys. All right, this is Screen Louder with religious movies that have come out, and God's Not Dead is the most recent. Check them out. Do more research on your own, and check us out next time. This is
Bye,
Raz,
guys.
Maggie,
Lettuce.
Sid, Deuces.
Earth Day.